Hello everyone, it's Crazy Mike 1706. How you guys are doing? I've missed you guys, so here it is, a whole new video for your viewing pleasure. This video will be concerning the WWE and how a lot of wrestling fans are not seeing the bigger picture involving the changes that they have made, as well as the Bryan Danielson situation and a very fallacious argument including the WWE. Now, recently, members of the IWC have been angered by the fact that WWE has been trying to go PG, but at the end of the day, you can't really blame them for making that decision, as their corporate sponsors, okay, their big name money guys don't want to see certain things on TV. Now, you can make the argument, well, Vince lost his balls, Vince lost his drive, he used to not care what people did, thought, he went on and did what he wanted to do. But remember, we're in a tough economy, so you got to make big money where you can. So a lot of times, the most decisions, including the one to go PG, probably has very little to do with them. It has mostly to do with the sponsors that they're dealing with. That's what people have to understand. Another thing people are not understanding is Linda McMahon is trying to get into politics. And of course, in politics, anything and everything will be used against you. So of course they're trying to clean up their image. And now that we got that out of the way, I personally feel that you don't need over-the-top gimmicks or over-the-top storylines or over-the-top matches to put on a good product. It's just not necessary, And when it's used too much, quite frankly, it's boring. You don't need lesbians kissing. You don't need nobody giving birth to a hand. You don't need somebody being put into an ambulance and having a truck run it over, or somebody dying in a car explosion. I mean, you don't really need all that stuff. It's not necessary. What you do need is wrestlers being pushed the right way. What you do need is booking done the right way. Politics is going to happen, but as long as it's done properly, you know what I mean. And in the ring, the storylines and the morale, those are the things that are important. All that other stuff, all that high over the top stuff is truly just not necessary. And people have also been mad because they're trying to get rid of blade jobs and chair shots. I really don't care for either one of the two, because those are other two things that you really don't need for a good match. There have been so many legendary matches without chair shots and without blood. I feel if you are going to use blood or chair shots, it should be in a blood feud. It should be used for the right purposes. The timing should be right. Random blading or random chair shots used like a million times over and over. It's been done too many times, and quite frankly, it's just unnecessary. And you know what? If they took that stuff out, fine. Who cares? Who needs it? Again, it should only be used in certain situations. Now, some fans are going to argue, but how are you going to take that out if you have certain matches with stipulations? And yeah, I can kind of see your argument there, but it just goes to show that it really has to do with what you can do in there, you know what I mean? Because remember, it's not just about going out there and doing millions of moves. It's about putting on a great performance. That's why Shawn Michaels is one of the greatest of all times, because is he the best in ring as far as technical prowess? No, but he is one of the greatest performers ever. Now, moving along to the fallacious argument, I often hear, well, this wrestler is not that great because he's not in the big leagues, he's not in the mainstream, he's an indie wrestler. That's one of the dumbest arguments ever, okay? Because before someone can start out within a big company, they have to work for like smaller companies. And just because somebody works in a smaller company, that doesn't mean that they're any better or any worse than somebody in the big companies. That's stupid. So you mean to tell me that Batista is better than Davey Richards just because he wrestles for a bigger company? That makes absolutely no sense. Somebody is not a better worker than somebody else just because they work for a bigger company. In fact, a lot of indie workers are a lot better than the people in the mainstream, because the people in the mainstream only work the same styles, and of course indie wrestlers get to travel and to learn a lot more. And that's why wrestlers back in the territorial days were a lot better, because they got to learn a lot more, they got to grow a lot more. And even now I feel the territorial days are almost just as good. It doesn't draw as much, but still I feel that a lot of wrestlers are really learning a lot. And it's a beautiful thing, But for people to say, well, he's not in the big leagues, okay, who cares? What does that have to do with anything? There are plenty of guys that are in the big leagues that suck, alright? So you mean to tell me that Khali is an amazing wrestler just because he wrestles for the biggest wrestling company in the world? Come on, it's stupid, man. There's tons of guys in Japan, there's tons of guys in Mexico, and there's tons of guys in Canada and across the states that are great wrestlers. That are not in the WWE, so don't give me that crap. And a lot of times, being on top has to do with opportunities and who you know. That's always a big one. Concerning the Bryan Danielson situation. I'm pissed off about it as well, but I think some people are kind of blowing it out of proportion because maybe they're gonna do what they did with Crime Time. Maybe they just fired him for now, just so Mattel could be kind of happy. Okay, they kissed our asses, and then in a few months they try to bring him back in. Hopefully, that's what they're gonna do. I'm really hoping and praying that that's what they're gonna do. But time will tell, and we'll see. Anyways, it's been Crazy Mike 1706. Throw your horns up to the sky until the day you die.